Hi, I'm Nick Bolton, the founder of ICCS. Now, if you're new to coaching supervision, you might wonder why it matters so much to coaching nowadays. Over the years, it's become something I now see as absolutely essential to good, ethical and sustainable coaching practice. But it didn't always feel that way to me. When I first started coaching back in the early 2000s, coaching supervision was barely a thing, and it certainly wasn't on my radar. I was doing my best as a good coach, reading, training and reflecting on my practice, but supervision just wasn't part of my landscape back then. And even today, I know many coaches who don't really know what coaching supervision is or why it matters. They might have heard of the term, and they might have seen it mentioned in credentialing guidelines, but they've never experienced it or realised how useful it can be. So let's start with the nature of coaching today. As I look at the profession, I would argue it's different from just a few years ago. Coaching's changed. It's become deeper. Clients are bringing more complex and emotionally charged material. Grief, trauma, identity, purpose, power, cultural tension. We've seen the rise in things like trauma-informed coaching, systemic coaching, and coaching around issues such as diversity, climate change, and more recently, neurodiversity. So a lot more is becoming expected of coaches. The nature of the work has changed, and that has the potential to have a big impact on some coaches. This complexity affects us. We hold a lot. I remember working with a client early in my career who had just lost their job unexpectedly. What they brought to the coaching wasn't a search for a strategy or ways forward. It was shock, loss and confusion. And I wasn't really sure how to hold it back then. I found myself thinking about the session for days, replaying it, wondering if I did the right thing. Did I do enough? Did I do too much? That's the kind of moment supervision is really made for. It's a space to process, to step back, to share the weight of it and to explore it with someone who can help see what's really going on. Then there's the ethical dimension. As coaches, we're often navigating grey areas. I've had supervisees bring questions like, should I raise my concerns about the client's well-being? Or my client's employer wants a report, how much can I actually share? These aren't easy questions and they don't come with a rule book. Supervision provides a space to explore them with care. And coaches are also frequently unaware of the ethical issues that are even arising in the practice, and it takes a supervisor to see it. Supervision also brings in what we call the systemic lens. That simply means stepping back and looking at the wider picture, the context in which the coaching is taking place, not just the coach and the client, but the organisation they're part of, the culture they're working in, the expectations, the power dynamics, even the unspoken rules. One coach I worked with was feeling stuck with a client. They tried every approach, every tool, every angle, but something wasn't shifting. And it was through supervision that it became clear that the issue wasn't in the coaching itself, it was in the system. The client was part of a team where there was no psychological safety. People didn't feel free to speak up. Power wasn't shared, and everything was filtered through fear or some sort of blame. No amount of great coaching techniques were going to shift that on their own. Supervision helps see those wider patterns. It's where you notice, it's not just the client, it's the system they're in. And that awareness changes how you coach. It gives you more options, and it stops you blaming yourself when something isn't working. And then there's the personal side of coaching. Coaching can be isolating, especially if you work independently. It's easy to get caught up in your own head, whereas supervision gives you a space to speak out loud, to be heard, to be challenged and supported in equal measure. It's where you make sense of your work and stay resourced for the next client. Now, looking wider, professional bodies recognise the importance of supervision ever more so. The EMCC, AC, ICF all advocate for supervision as a cornerstone of ongoing coach development. And nowadays, many organisations expect the coaches to be in supervision as part of good practice too. But for me, beyond all of the frameworks and the standards, it comes down to this. Coaching is serious work. It touches people's lives. It reaches into their hopes, their pain, their potential, their aspirations. And if we want to meet that with clarity, integrity and humanity, we need our own place to reflect, to grow and to stay grounded. That's what coaching supervision offers. If you're a coach who's never experienced it, I'd invite you to get curious. Not just for the moments when you're unsure or challenged, but for the times when you want to deepen your knowledge and deepen your practice and your insight, when you want to expand your perspective and feel resourced for the work you do. Now, if you're an experienced coach already and you think you would enjoy helping other coaches develop, exploring the deeper layers of what's really going on in their work, offering support, challenge and extra perspectives, then perhaps it's time to think about becoming a coaching supervisor. Either way, coaching supervision matters for the coach, for the client, for the profession, and perhaps for you too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.